Hello, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. This is Chris from Arts and Science Academic Advising. Just wanted to take a minute to go through how to read an academic program progress report. So these reports are printable, generatable by students, by staff, and they show a really nice snapshot of everything that you've done so far within your program. Now, before we go into any of these details, it's really important that you remember that this is a tool. It is not a direct representation of exactly what's happening within your program. The system actually will start pulling courses in as best as it can, but a human being actually needs to finalize everything that's going on here. So it's a good starting point, but it is definitely not your end point. If you ever have any questions or it looks weird or something doesn't make any sense, please reach out to us at Academic Advising. You can contact us via email, artsandscience@mcewen.ca. Advisors answer that, and we're more than happy to fix any issues that come up with this or explain something that doesn't make any sense, which can happen. So fear not, fret not, we're here for it. Now, going into this, we start out with your name, presumably, and then the person who ran it plus the dates involved. We're going to give you your current program of study. So this particular student is in the Bachelor of Arts program. Bachelor of Arts and Science both have different versions. So if you're in the Science, it should say Bachelor of Science. If it's in the Arts, it should say Arts. You shouldn't get any mix-up. If there is, please let us know. So this particular student is also a political science major and a history minor, and then the requirement term. The requirement term is actually when they declared. So this will be the degree requirements that are necessary for their program. These are the dates that will be associated with that. We just have a bunch of important information at the bottom. It essentially tells you that this is a tool. The grade point averages are not fully accurate. They're not fully calculated. It's just a good guideline as far as what you're doing. All of the set in stone information is going to come from official record keeping that we do as advisors for students. So we start off with general degree requirements, and I know that there's a bunch of coding and numbers and stuff here. All you really need to take note of is the actual titles of each. The lines in the code is really just from an administrative standpoint. So this particular student, Bachelor of Arts degree, we calculate the units for them. So you need 120 units. Units are credits, so you need 120 credits. This particular student has taken 105. So according to the report, they need 15 credits. Needed is always going to be there if you're missing credits in something. We do have basic calculation of the GPA. This is based off of what's on this report. Again, it's not fully accurate. It's a good idea, but it's not going to be the thing that is set in stone. So this will give you a nice tool, a nice path forward, but don't view it as the end all be all. So the degree regulations we have set, we have certain things that are associated with different programs. So, for example, everyone is allowed to do 16 junior level credits. That's 48 credits maximum, 60 credits of transfer credit, 60 credits in one discipline. We just have this here just so that people know that there are limitations and there are things that you need to know within your degree. But as far as actual planning goes, the breadth requirement section is where you're really going to start seeing a breakdown of courses taken. So breadth requirements are general courses that everyone needs to take in order to finish their degree. Within the Bachelor of Arts, you do need to take 6 credits of English literacy. So English 102 and 3 credits will always put down what it is that we're talking about or what it is that you need within this report. So this particular student has taken 6 credits within English and they need 6. So this is reading satisfied. Now you'll see that if let's say this student hadn't finished one of these courses, it'll still read as satisfied because we assume, and so does the system, that you're going to pass. So we always err on the side of caution when it comes to filling out these reports. If you drop a course, obviously it'll no longer be satisfied. If you fail a course, obviously it would no longer be satisfied. But with this case, the student passed both, therefore it's satisfied. Same deal. They need a language other than English or world literature. So this could be comp, this could be language. This particular student took language. So again, it just satisfies that line once the student actually has it. Now we can see here that there's another section of breadth requirements that are not satisfied. So when something isn't satisfied, it's going to tell you, and it's going to tell you why. So analytic studies are required within the Bachelor of Arts breadth requirements. You need 3 credits of Linguistics 101 specifically, Phil 125 specifically, math or stats, not including Math 99. This particular student doesn't have any of those. So 3 is required, 0 is taken, and 3 are needed. It just kind of breaks down in a very kind of straightforward way exactly what it is that you need and why you don't have it. Sometimes, it may pull weird. You may see something in here that doesn't make any sense. If that happens, again, let us know. Now, this particular student is within a major or a minor that actually fills some of these breadth requirements. So the humanities breadth requirements, for example, is part of history, philosophy, classics. So this particular student is doing, and we can scroll all the way back up to double check, a history minor. So obviously that's going to be taken care of just by the sheer fact that they're going to be taking a ton of history courses. So this line has no satisfied next to it. It just is finished, right? It's completed in the major or the minor. Same goes for the social science breadth requirements as well. Does the same thing. Once we get through the breadth requirements, we actually start getting into the specific major requirements. Here you're going to see a breakdown of some general rules and regulations associated with the specific major for the specific year of study. So this goes off of the declaration date of this particular student. They need a minimum of 12 credits at the 300 level, 6 credits at the 4, including 490. And we just kind of break down everything that students actually need within their major. Again, this isn't a whole comprehensive list, but it's a really good way of kind of getting your bearings. If you have any questions about any degree regulations, please reach out to an academic advisor, artsandscience@mcun.ca. I'm going to say that a lot. So within the political science for this student, we actually break down their specific major requirements. So in this case, they need these particular courses. This particular student has currently taken these courses. Now you'll see one of these classes down here is actually in progress. That's what IP means. So they haven't actually finished that course, but again, we assume that the student's going to pass. We assume that they're going to stay in the class, so we mark it as satisfied. If the student fails the class, it will no longer be satisfied, and if they drop it, obviously they'll be missing 490. Then we have all of the requirements broken down depending on the specifics of the program of study. So in this case, 12 credits at the 300 level. You can see again, it shows what has been completed and what is currently in progress. The system will automatically pull things based first on regulation. So we see up here, all these classes are specifically needed, so this is what's pulled. Then we have something more general that can pull any 300 level course. So it's going to pull the things with the highest GPA that meet these regulations. So right now, the only thing that does is a B and the rest is in progress. Then dealing with 3 credits of 400, it's going to pull into there as well. Now this section right here, 0 to 18 credits, this is in reference to the maximum amount of credits that a person can take within their major. Students are generally, and this is speaking generally, allowed to take 42 to 60 credits in a single discipline. So if the student wanted to take more political science, this is where it would go. If they don't want to take it, so if they just do 0, that also works too. It's going to be satisfied no matter what. But if they want to take that maximum amount, if they want to do the most topics within their own discipline, that's where that section is going to be filled. Now, here we have a good example of a confirm statement. So on these reports, we have actual statements that don't really do anything except for give you a visual representation of what's going on. So here we're confirming that major courses completed at MacEwan and the major GPA. So you have to do a certain number of credits from MacEwan University, and this report pulls those credits, counts them, and then tells you the GPA from those specific courses. Now you'll note there's no grades for a lot of these courses. That means that this GPA is very inaccurate. Only when all of your courses are completed is this GPA going to actually be representative of your current GPA. And even then, it's a bit of a pathway forward rather than an exact representation of what it is that you have. So always speak to us if you have any questions whatsoever. Here we have a bunch more confirmed statements because we want to make sure that everyone knows their regulations and knows exactly what they have missing. This student requires 12 credits of 3 or 4. They've actually taken more than that, so they're very satisfied, and this section is confirmed. Same thing with the 400 levels, 6 taken, that's all they needed, so that's confirmed. Again, if they drop the course or if they fail, this will change. It'll no longer be confirmed. Now we get into the breakdown of the minor. Same deal with the major. We have a bunch of regulations and necessary steps for students, necessary courses and credits for them to have. We break that down at the top, and then each individual line shows a necessity within that minor. With history, in this particular year, you need 9 credits at 3 or 4, so we've broken it down here. 9 credits at the senior level, broken it down here. And again, we have our own confirmed statements, just making sure that they are within program requirements and policy restrictions. So 9 credits from the minor have to be done from MacEwan. They've definitely done that. Good job. Same with this. Confirmed 3 at the 3 or 400. They've taken 9. Perfect. Now we get into the options requirements. So here you have arts and science options. So this pulls arts and science courses that can fill the rest of your degree. Let's say you did the minimum requirement of your major, your minor, plus your breadth requirements. It's going to leave a handful of courses that are just kind of empty, right? So options courses. This particular student took some sociology, some economics, and some anthropology. Great. That's where these are going to be pulled. Now, there is a section called out of faculty or arts and science options. Now, students are allowed to take 5 out of faculty courses within the arts or the science degree. Out of faculty means that it's not an art or a science. So in this particular case, the student took PACT, Pearl, PEDS. So these are all health courses, physical activity courses, that type of thing. Now you'll also note that history pulls in here as well. Well, that's because this section is for arts and science. So within this section, it's going to pull arts courses and things that are not arts and science, just to fulfill the 120 credit requirement. Now, this again is just for mathematical purposes. So it might pull courses in here that aren't necessarily going to end up being in your degree. The reason for that is, if you remember, when we scroll up, this student is actually still missing courses, right? 3 from here, a few from the major, and the report wants to mathematically balance everything. So it's pulling more courses down here than may be usable once they actually fulfill all of the specific requirements. That's where we're coming from when we say it's not necessarily accurate. It's just a good planning tool, because in certain cases, some of these courses may disappear. And again, if you have more questions about planning or the processes surrounding your degree, please reach out to us. Now, at the end of this report, we have degree regulations. So as part of the arts degree, you do need 72 credits of arts credits in order to get the degree. I mean, it is an arts degree after all, so you should have a fair number of arts. This particular student has 90, so perfectly fine. You're only allowed to have 16 courses or 48 credits at the 100 level, so 42 have been taken, so this student has not exceeded this. If they had exceeded this, let's say they took, I don't know, 54 or something, this would say unsatisfied, and it would be an issue. So it would actually denote that something is being used that we can't use. Transfer credit. So if the student came from another university, that's usually when you're going to see transfer credit. If you have questions about transfer credit and stuff, please reach out. This student has not taken any, so they're totally fine. Confirmed statements for the maximum. So you're only allowed to have 60 credits in one discipline for the most part. So this student has done 42 credits in political science, so they're well within that range. Same goes for the minor as well. At the bottom, we have just a basic calculation of credits needed. So 120 credits required, 105 taken, 15 needed. And then this GPA is actually a breakdown of everything that's below. So it's definitely not a representation of any kind of accurate number. It's just a snapshot of this report because this student, again, is still enrolled in stuff and still needs more courses. So it's a good tool. It's a good step-by-step process, but it's definitely not a representation of everything that a student needs. Um, Thank you guys for joining me. And if you do have any questions, please reach out to Academic Advising, Arts and Science at mcewen.ca. Thank you so much.